And now a WGN Investigates exclusive. A Chicago priest who admits to molesting 5 boys is free, despite concerns that he is a sexually violent person who could reoffend.
Investigative reporter Ben Bradley tracked him down, joins us with the former priest's response. Ben?
Micah and Ray, while Father Dan McCormick pled guilty to abusing 5 boys, subsequent civil litigation and church settlements indicate there may have been as many as 25 victims over the years. None of that standing in the way of his freedom tonight.
Father McCormick, anything you want to say?
What do you want to say to your victims?
Dan McCormick is Chicago's most infamous pedophile priest. He served 5 years in prison, then spent time in an institution for sexually violent people.
Can you say you're sorry to the victims?
Our parish will never be the same.
But now he's free.
Hey Dan, Ben Bradley from WGN.
We found him living on the north side.
Tell me what life has been like for you. I assume you're trying to build back your life.
Yes, it's not easy.
Walking the streets, hoping for the anonymity of a confessional.
Is this haunting you? Is this, do you put it behind you?
Of course it haunts me, and I'm trying to put it behind me so I can move forward.
What did you learn in prison and in your time?
A lot more about myself. I mean, it breaks you down to the lowest level.
And now you're rebuilding?
Trying.
Dan McCormick was once a respected person in the Archdiocese of Chicago. The white priest led the predominantly black, low-income flock at St. Agatha's on the city's west side. He spearheaded community outreach, was involved in the church school, led basketball programs, and took kids on trips.
Sometimes people think that, we all knew everything about him before, and we were reckless with children's concerns and care. That isn't true. He deceived a lot of people.
McCormick became emblematic of the church's failure to protect children from pedophile priests going back decades.
It's our view that the children in the community are not safe.
I respect and appreciate the privacy of being a John Doe. But my name is Daryl MacArthur, and I feel it is time to put a stop to this culture of secrecy within the Catholic Church.
First of all, to those who were injured, and I apologize. I'm sorry, that's not the way it should happen. That's not the way we should treat each other.
And what about your faith these days?
It's different, stronger.
So how does this make your faith stronger?
Well, I think when you hit rock bottom, there has to something has to help you get out of that rock bottom. And mine was my faith.
An outside investigation commissioned by the Archdiocese of Chicago found the Archdiocese did not follow the basic spirit of their own established guidelines when it came to McCormick. Not only were complaints about suspicious sexual conduct with 2 male adults and 1 boy from his seminarian days not acted upon, but McCormick eventually got promoted to oversee other priests. The church audit found Cardinal George did not know what he needed to know to make a definitive decision regarding Father McCormick from October 1999 through December 2005 because he was not advised of all the information in possession of his staff.
I get letters saying, you knew everything, 5 years before it came out. That's just not true.
Even after the Archdiocese suspended McCormick from ministry, it failed to keep tabs on him, and he continued to surround himself with children. The investigation found McCormick continued to coach basketball, teach algebra to minors, and took minors on an out-of-state shopping trip.
2 more individuals coming forward accusing imprisoned and defrocked former Catholic priest Daniel McCormick of sexually abusing them.
No one would guess from looking at him, talking to him, interacting with him, that he was capable of committing these crimes. And yet he did. And again, he chose the absolute most vulnerable population that he could have.
Mark Perlman reached settlements with the church on behalf of several boys who said they were abused by McCormick.
His release, his being back in the community, it's absolutely a really significant trigger for all of our clients. They experience a lot of anxiety. They experience, re-victimization, trauma. But when I speak to them, the most common thing that I hear from my clients is their concern not for themselves, it's for other little kids in any neighborhood where he's residing. That's what they're concerned about.
Cook County Judge Dennis Porter found that ex-Catholic priest Daniel McCormick is a, quote, sexually violent person.
But I saw kids who were abused graphically and horrifically, repeatedly.
Glenn Guth is an attorney who represented 10 of McCormick's victims, all of whom reached settlements with the Archdiocese.
McCormick's freedom was the subject of a vigorous court fight. His trial judge declared McCormick a sexually violent person. That meant he'd be institutionalized indefinitely. But this summer, an appellate court overturned that ruling, despite expert testimony that predicted McCormick had a 22% risk of recidivism after 10 years. The appellate court said those odds do not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that McCormick was substantially likely to reoffend. And that is why Dan McCormick is walking free today.
Do you regret what you did?
Of course, yeah.
But you don't think you're still a threat?
I do not.
And how did you get past that? How do you come to that conclusion?
Well, when you lose everything, when you do therapy, when you work on it, you start to believe that.
Since I found SNAP, my whole life revolves around helping other survivors.
Larry Antonson leads the local chapter of the Survivors Network of those abused by priests. He says the church and the courts failed in the McCormick case.
They should have interviewed people that have been abused, especially people that have been abused by him, and get their opinions on what they think of him being released. Because it's got to be really painful for them, especially for them.
And what do you want to say to those victims out there who don't think you should be out in public?
There's not much I can say. I can't change their minds, and I respect what they believe.
Do you want to apologize for the pain that you caused?
I've apologized before, and I will continue to do so.
The power dynamic is at play in any case of abuse involving a person in power and a child. But Father McCormick was a priest assigned to help and heal a community that's seen more than its share of adversity.
How did that happen? Why did that happen?
Why? What happened?
The abuse.
That's difficult to say. That'd take a long conversation for that.
But is it a mental health issue? Was it an opportunity? Was it a feeling of I'll never get caught?
Again, that's difficult to say.
The man who deceived his faith, his family, and his community now claims he's cured.
Because it's difficult to move on.
But as we stood on the outskirts of a city park, no one but him knows what's in his mind or his heart.
Some people say you're still a threat. What do you say to them?
Again, like I said before, I can't change their minds except to prove it. I don't believe I am, but that will just take time to prove that to other people.
The Archdiocese of Chicago declined our request for comment on McCormick's release. They also wouldn't say how much in settlements have been paid out in the McCormick cases, but reports put that number at more than $20 million. Mike and Ray?
Well, Ben, this seems like it was a long conversation that you got to have with him over the course of several blocks there. He's on the north side, but did he give you an indication about where he plans to go long term, what he plans to do?
So he's only been free a few weeks. He said he is looking for work, but has yet to find a job. He said he's not currently in therapy. And as you heard him say, his faith is still strong. But he said he's not currently attending church.
And he also has to register as a sexual offender, right?
That's a great point, Micah. He is registered. By all accounts, he does appear to be in compliance with all of the rules and regulations surrounding his release.
Right. Thanks, Ben. Stella had an emotional tribute tonight for a young mother and her infant son. We have a live report from a shrine honoring Marlon Ochoa next.
Also